How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI, which ended up being up almost 10% on the day. We've been seeing a lot of strength in the stock. If you guys remember the video that I made on the weekend, I'm seeing big things for this play going into April. And look what is happening right now. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $10.14, being up 9.62%. On the low, it tested $9.22, and then on the high, testing $10.21. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 72.585 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 52.729 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, and it's part of the reasons why we've seen strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 51.15. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and we are above the 21-day EMA. So as far as SOFI's performance, I am impressed. If you remember what I was saying in the previous video, I just said that right now we were consolidating, getting ready for the next move up, and that's what we got today. We ended up seeing a high of $10.21. So if we see further strength inside of these markets, I'm looking forward to seeing SOFI get to around $10.67. This is an area of resistance you're going to want to keep a very close eye on, because if we could break through it, then I'm looking forward to seeing us get to the 50-day right around $11.06. So you want to add that to your homework. And the moment we could actually consolidate and build support above $11, which we've done in the past, that's where I'm looking forward to seeing if SOFI can make that move to 12. And like I said on my video for the weekend, I think it was, that I'm seeing some big things from SOFI for the month of April. So I want to see this uptrend continue. So if we decide to have a pullback or we want to consolidate, then I want to see us form a higher low, of course. And where would that be? As long as we could hold up above the 21-day EMA, that would be great. So that would be around $9.75. If we don't get that higher low, then of course I'd want to see us at least being able to hold up around $9.50. So let's get into the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings, you can see we have quite a bit from March the 29th. So we're going to go over the ones that are the most noticeable. So we have here iShares US Financial Services that purchased just under 396,000 shares. We also have iShares Exponential that purchased just over 1.22 million shares. And then we also have iShares Morningstar that purchased just under 193,000 shares. And then we also have iShares MSCI that purchased just over 142,000 shares. So we can see institutions have been loading up quite a bit on SOFI. So now when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 46.72%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 7.4 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.1 million, updated 27 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 1.36%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 25th, it was at 56.14. And then for the close of the 28th, being at 46.72. So even though it has gone down quite a bit, one thing that is clear, SOFI does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see on the inflow, it's at 114, and then on the outflow, it's at 100. 212. So we had an inflow day. Also know these numbers are in the millions. When we look at the breakdown, we can see on the large it was 2.58. On the medium, it was 70.75. And then on the small, it was 40.72. On the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0.85. On the medium, it was 70.56. And then on the small, it was 41.06. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, March the 29th, being an inflow of 1.73 million. We also see on the 28th, it was 1.92 million. And then on the 25th, being at 1.59 million. So for the past 3 trading days, whales have been loading up. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And of course, when we take a look at the large represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 8.77%. So this is up there for a stock like SOFI, but like I've said in my previous videos, it does trade at high volume. And since we did have above average volume on the day, I wouldn't be surprised if we grabbed the attention of a lot of traders, and that's why it was liquid. So let's go on to the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SOFI, when it comes to the price action, it was an exciting day. But you know, I want to see us make a further move. Like I talked about on the weekend, I see a lot of upside in this stock going into April, especially for the month of April. So the next price that I want to see as far as for this week is at $11.06. We broke through some key levels on the day, like I've spoken about in previous videos. So if this momentum could continue, you want to keep a very close eye on this play, especially if you're interested in trading it. If we end up having a pullback going into tomorrow, or if we choose to consolidate, the low of the day was around $9.22. So we want to form a higher low. So most preferably, I would love for this higher low to be around $9.50. I don't think that's too much to ask, but even if we go around $9.30, again, I just want to see us form a higher low above $9.22. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, you can clearly see institutions have been loading up the boat on shares. So I know a lot of my investors would be excited to hear that. And then when we took a look at the short interest information, SOFI does continue to have short squeeze potential. So that's why if we have continued buying pressure coming into this stock, we could see some strong moves to the upside. And another thing I want to bring to your attention is the market conditions. We are seeing a lot of strength inside of the tech sector. And part of the reasons behind this, we've seen a pullback in the 10-year yield. So what does this do? This makes growth stocks a lot more attractive. If you guys remember what I was saying in previous videos, whenever you have the 10-year yield spiking, growth stocks become less attractive. And the main reason behind this, because they need capital, they need financing. And that's why when you see other stocks that have a strong cash position and they also trade at reasonable valuations, they're going to be the ones to get attention. So knowing that the 10-year yield is going down, if we continue to see it pulling back, I can see SOFI making further moves to the upside. And as far as for the overall market trend, please don't fight it. I got some messages, people saying, should I start buying puts on SOFI and so forth? I highly would not recommend it. But of course, there could be some opportunities, especially if you are playing off of those support and resistance areas. And another point I want to make before I close this video out, congratulations to all of my SOFI investors out there that bought up the dip. And also, I want to send out a big shout out to the management who's been buying up shares while this stock was trading at a cheaper price. And that's why I was saying, if management is going out there as far as insiders are concerned, from Anthony Noto and so forth, if they're buying shares at this price, they see that, you know what, this stock has a lot more upside. So that's why I looked at it as a bullish catalyst, and then taking into consideration how stocks perform in the month of April. Again, I'm just happy that you guys were able to take advantage of this opportunity. And of course, like I say in all of my videos, this is not financial advice, but I highly suggest if you watch my videos alongside with your research, you should be seeing a lot of success in the market. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how this stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.